Hello everyone. Look what I picked up at the pawn shop today. I got me a new fiddle. Let's move that out of the way there so you can see it. Isn't that a nice one? I'm going to put new strings on it. Y'all can watch me restring that fiddle right there. After the strings break in and stretch, we'll play a tune on it. Alright, come on. Let's put some new strings on that violin. Now, these strings right here are the ones I'm going to put on there. Made by Diodario Helicore. That's a nice set of violin strings right there. That'll make your fiddle sing. They're not hard to put on. The first time you do it's a little bit difficult, but after you've done it a couple of times, here and there you'll have some mistakes, but they're not that hard to put on. Let's go give it a shot. Alright. We'll crack open that set of strings there. Diodario Helicore. Set this off to the side here. Let's see what we got here. There's the E string, A string, the D string, and the G string. Those are the 4 strings that we need to string our violin with. We set those on the ground down there where I can get to them real easy. Now, pull our violin up here. Let me scooch up a little bit so we can get our fiddle in the screen there. Down there on the floor, that's my pop's old fiddle, my dad's old fiddle. Okay, now this top string right here is the G string. The next string down is the D string. The next string down is the A string. And then here on the bottom is the E string. Now, I like to do the 2 outside strings first, one at a time, so that the other strings will hold up the bridge. So let's do the G string first. Let's undo the old string. I set my violin in my lap like this, like I'm gonna play the dulcimer. I find that to be the easiest way. So let's unwind our G string. Pull that out there. Now, watch out for these strings. Don't let that poke you in the eye there. I've got my glasses on. It might be a good instance for you to wear some safety glasses if you don't need eyewear. Okay. There's that. Let's unbag the G string. I'll have to get my knife out. Pull my knife out of my pocket here. Don't cut your fingers off, PeePaw. I'll try not to. Okay. Set my knife down there on the floor. Put that over there on that side. Now this G string is red. Look at that. Just unwind it so we can straighten it out right there. Look at that. Now we'll hook it in the back here on the fine tuner. Let's get the fine tuner up about halfway there. Another nice thing about doing one string at a time is the tailpiece here. If I were to take all the strings off at one time, and of course the bridge wouldn't have anything holding it in place, but then the tailpiece would fall down and might scratch the finish of your new violin right there. Okay, so let's see if we can get those in there. Get that down in there. Hook that in if I can. There we go. You hook that in the fine tuner. These back here are fine tuners. Your tuning pegs up here are your coarse tuners. Take and put the end of your string, there'll be a little ball on the end of the string, put that in the fine tuner notch, hang on to it, get it into the groove of your bridge right there. Just bring that tuning peg out so I can get that G string put down in the hole. Then I'll grab it and rotate the tuning peg, letting the string wind up into the peg box. Okay. Now we're not worried about being in tune right now. Let me show you how that looks. We're not worried about being in tune right now. We just want to get all the strings in place. You want just enough tension so that now this G string will hold this end of the bridge. Now I'm going to do the E string, just that little string right here on the bottom, and that is on this peg. Let's get that undone right there. When it comes out of the peg, don't let it spring up and poke you in the eye. There we go, hang on to it. Come on out. There we go. Set that on the floor down there. Let's pull out our E string. Cut open that bag right there with my knife. Already got me some scissors. I didn't know these bags was going to be so ornery to open, but that's alright. We'll get there. Okay. Set my knife down there and let's put the bag over there. Now this E string is green. Let's undo these two right here. Okay, now the E string will have this little piece right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to get that in focus. It'll have a little plastic tube on the E string, and sometimes you'll find it on the A string also. But that plastic tube sits down in the groove of the bridge and prevents that really thin wire from cutting into the bridge. So when you set your E string, you want to put that plastic tube so it sits down in the groove, and you want it you want most of it on the tailpiece side. If you put it over here, so that most of it's on the fingerboard side. It'll dampen the sound of the string. So you want just that leading edge to be on the fingerboard side. Now let's put this string up into the fine tuner. I'll back that adjustment off right there. Now we'll do the same thing on this pig. Get it so it just comes into the hole of the peg. Now we'll start turning it. So it winds up against the peg box, the inside of the peg box there. Then I'll bring this plastic tube up onto the bridge, that notch in the bridge for the E string. Crank that up a little bit. Now remember, we're not worried about being in tune right now. We just want to set those strings right there so that they'll hold the bridge and the tailpiece while we go for the D string and the A string. That's these two pegs up here. I always have a hard time with getting the string down into the hole of the peg on the A string right there, because it's way up there inside the peg box. Let's show you what we got so far. If I can find my place in the lens of the camera, we've got the G string set and the E string set. Okay, so now let's do the D string. We'll unwind the old string. So far so good. See, it's not that difficult. Just do one string at a time. Set that old string on the floor. Some folks, they hang on to their old strings in case their new strings break. They'll hang on to their old strings. Just have the emergency backup of string. Now let me get a good close-up of what's going on over here when we wind that string up. I want to see how you should be winding your string up in that peg box. So give me a little bit to set the camera up and we'll come back and you can watch us wind that string up on that D string peg. Okay, I'll try to stay in camera when I'm doing this. But you can see I'm going to set that string down into the hole of that peg. Now we're going to start winding it up. And you want the string to spool over to the left side where it'll butt up against that peg box. You see how that's rolling over there? What that does, that will allow the string to tension against the peg and help hold it in place. It'll help to hold this peg from slipping. When that string butts up against the wall of the inside of the peg box, it pushes the peg inward. Okay, we're still out of tune. Don't freak out. We'll get it there. Right now we're just stringing. Okay, let me get the camera back over and we'll put the last string, the A string, on. Okay, I'm glad you got to see that close up there. Okay, give me a little bit to get the camera back over to the original position there so we can look at us put the last string on there. Okay, now we want to take the A string off, so we're going to unspool it off the peg box, remove it off that peg, alright, remove it off of the fine tuner, I'll set it down here on the floor. Get that factory dust off of that peg there. Let's open up this new string right here. Don't cut your string, PeePaw. Alright, I'll try not to. Set our knife down there. Put that over there. Let's unspool the A string. I always like doing the A string last for no particular reason except I can't get up into the peg box very easily right there, so I leave the hard part for last. Okay, let's put our string up into that fine tuner. Oh, we're not all the way there yet. There we are. Now we're there. Now, if I could see properly, there, that looks like it. Did I get it? Yes, I did. Okay, let's wind that up. Oh, I'm going backwards here. There we go. Can't see down in the dark there. I get it so it runs up against the inside wall of the peg box. Okay, let's put that in the groove of the bridge. There you are. That's how you restring your violin. That's not hard. The first time you do it, it's a little bit scary. It really is. Let me run this one string back off here. You can see I got a problem. I came outside of the fine tuner down here. Well, there you go. So mistakes are made when you're doing this, but don't worry none. You can correct them. Let's make sure we wind back up against the inside wall of that peg box. Okay, we want to set that plastic tube again. Right there like that. Let's tighten that up a little bit. There, now we're right. See, I was on the outside of that fine tuner. The ball of the end of the string got out of the groove. No problems though, because you can always undo your strings and set them again. Now let me show you that plastic tube right there. I'll try to get it focused in the lens there, and you can see how it's supposed to be set. There you go. You want most of the tube on the tailpiece side, and that way it won't dampen the string when the string rings. I can see another one here. Let's put that one up there. There's another one on the A string. There we go. I didn't see that at first. Let's bring that up there and look at it. There you go. There you go. That's how you string your violin. Folks, thank you very much for watching. I'll tune this thing up, and after them strings break in, we'll play a tune on it. Thank you very much for stopping by. I always appreciate it when you come over. We'll see you next time.